Oh, here we go. We're spinning. And we're spinning.
Spinning.
I did not realize how. And we're live. I don't know how live we are.
Well, that's
mythical
cool.
Randy Lynn in the new studio. What's everybody think? Huh? $50. Right now there's some poor ghetto without a table. Where's my table?
We got to eat on the floor again?
All right. Full disclosure. Randy told me all my videos were shit.
Well, I said it professionally, or as professionally as I can be. And I don't know. I just only said that, or I forcefully implied that this was 2019 and we needed to get up to par at least with
So
the content that was already being created.
There are children with podcasts better than yours. You are rich. There are children. I think I was like, man, I gotta do something. So
You have money.
gotta be just money laying around. Where do you go every day? That's what I kept hearing.
They are banks. You know.
I was so excited to pay for this podcast, I nearly forgot to put on my ski mask. Oh man, I was like, what is that noise? It's my computer. Little processor and little hamster's running.
Yeah, I realized when I got about halfway here that I was meant to bring my laptop too, but I guess it's...
My little offended didn't know where I lived.
Well, I only been here one time back in 2009 or
2013. Well, it was right after Savannah was born. She was walking, I think.
Yeah.
You came with,
right.
you came one time randomly for some reason, and then you came in the middle of the day with Miller.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was.
I don't remember why that was either.
I think you were looking for houses. Because you were going to buy a house right over here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was looking at...
all about that.
Yeah, I was looking at stuff over here.
And it fell through.
Oh, well.
It was tragic.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
This coffee's way too hot to be 8 o'clock at night drinking it.
I don't know. I remember growing up as a kid, my dad was always drinking coffee like all day long. He'd come home from work at 5 o'clock and pass out in a chair. And then he'd wake up when it was time for dinner. And no sooner was dinner over, but he's drinking 2-3 cups of coffee before he just plops in the bed and goes to bed for the night, and he's up at 5 o'clock in the next morning. And I never understood how he did that.
Yeah.
And now I do, because
it's perfectly natural now.
I sit there and watch, like I finished up Stranger Things 3 last night and sat right there drinking 2 cups of coffee while I was watching the last 2 episodes. So, and then went to bed at 11 o'clock like I always do. So
I can one up that. I was supposed to get on a call last night for work right here on this table. I had a Joe Rogan set up with this laptop. I had my work laptop sitting right here and our teleconference going. I dialed in and said, stand down, it's over. Bitch, I just did a line of coke.
I was wondering what you were talking about when you said something about
I was like,
being at work, but then you were sending me pics of the studio. So,
well, I was back here and I had a cup of coffee, this coffee, and I drank it, just casually getting ready. I'll be up, I'm ready to go. I was picturing it going 2-3 hours, midnight, and it kind of wearing off. No, 9:45. Oh, stand down. Shit. Melatonin. Did a rip off the toilet seat. See if we can stop this old ticker. Give her a run for her money.
It looks good though. I mean, table's much nicer than I anticipated what you were going to get. You know, talking about getting workhorses and a couple of planks together, and
yeah, I was going to just screw some things down with sheetrock screws and paint it.
Yeah, it was a nice table, and that logo came out. It is a lot bigger now that I see it here.
That logo's legit. It's like a billboard. The box came out. What the hell's in that? It just kept coming out.
Even when I saw you standing there holding it in front of you, and it was, taking up 3/4 of your body, I was like, well, it still didn't look that big. I don't want to say it looked small, but it didn't look that big. Now that I see it here on the wall in the room, it's a good size. It's not bad either.
And it goes well with the decor.
It does. Absolutely.
I had to ask several females what goes well with brown. Apparently everything. I don't know. Also trying to learn how to work this chat. Chat.
I didn't even send out the bat signal we were doing live today.
I put one out there a while ago to say if you care at all to jump on YouTube in a few minutes. About the time you knocked on the door and scared me. And as soon as I sent you my address, the doorbell rang. I'm like, what in the world? And I opened the door. I said that was kind of quick, and it was Amazon. Like, what are you doing here over here? What did we order? Sometimes I don't know what we. I'm like, why are there things? Why are there things here?
So what else are you gonna put up around that?
Let's see. I got professional noises. Oh. What a knife I have back here. 10-inch Jim Bowie knife.
Jungle Primitive.
Yeah. Arlie Ermy edition. We took this up here. My little preview is like 35 seconds behind real life. Well, basically just I was going to put these license plates from old cars in a pattern in the most juvenile way possible. Well, check this one out. Red Man Licensed to Chew. I got that one. I think I was a teenager when I thought, man, this is the best license plate on the planet. Stand down.
That was like me walking around when I was 17 wearing a camel jacket.
I've got a camel
I thought I was the coolest kid walking into high school wearing a camel jacket.
I've got a camel jacket still. Smells like camels. I got it off eBay. And I had the, in my truck back in college, I had these. But everybody's like, it doesn't even say Roll Tide. I'm like, I know. We had a secret code.
Secret code.
Well, we had folks from back home, Scottsboro, which is the only people listening right now, guaranteed. We would say our every vowel as a lowercase a, al, rail. Is it Rail Tide?
Yeah.
Going to the movies. It almost sounded Australian. Everybody would be like, Rail Tide, Rail Tide. And so I got that, and only like 7 people in the world understood it. The rest thought I was just trying to force it. No, it's legit. Especially when I got to Redstone. They're like, this doesn't say Rail Tide. Rail Tide? Like, leave me alone.
There's probably a couple of Northerners telling you that too.
Oh, it was. All.
What is that supposed to say? I don't
Raw
get
Tide?
it.
Oh, I also had a sticker called, said it's brown, it's down, with a picture of a deer. I got some shit for that one too. Is this a Ku Klux Klan reference? I'm not getting it. How did she get in? Are you in pajamas? She came in a while ago and knocked over the light. I'm surprised it didn't bust. By sheer miracle that it didn't. Pounding this coffee over here. What are you doing?
Got my teddy bear.
Why don't you go watch YouTube?
No.
You better go. Santa Claus ain't gonna come.
It is July.
It's not Christmas.
Because it's July.
It's not December.
She thinks she's gonna get my laptop or that computer, and the way it's acting right now, she may be able to have it. It's starting to deteriorate like it's somebody's old grandma that's losing it. Hey, who is this again?
My kid's been giving me crap about our desktop. The desktop I bought was a gaming desktop.
Alienware.
The boys were all into gaming on PC. I had 42 consoles around the house, but they just like had to have a gaming PC because they're friends. And I finally got it. Got it for them. Got it up and running. They hardly ever played the thing. Well, fast forward to now. Right before they left the fatherland, something happened with the hard drive on that thing, and it was I won't get into the whole bit about what was wrong with it, but there was something wrong with it, and I wasn't there to fix it. Well, it got shipped over here with their household goods, and I finally unpacked it and got a computer desk, everything set up for it, and realized that the hard drive was bad. So I went and got a new hard drive, started doing the installation on it, doing all the stuff you're supposed to do. PC 101 nonsense. But the fan stopped. The fans weren't working on the thing, so you can't run it for very long without it overheating, or threatening to overheat. And so I told him, I was like, yeah, I got to figure out why the fans aren't running. And of course, they've been beating me up for that every day. I come home from work, like,
bro,
are you gonna fix the fans today? Are you gonna fix the fans today? And there goes the light.
All right.
Disaster 101.
Gotta go. Go watch YouTube. Get a snack. That's hilarious. How did the coffee not spill? Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I figured she would. What was that? Golf? Maybe it did spill. I don't know. Area Road cost $8. Actually, it cost $80, but still, I liked it. That's one of the things. The area rug's one of the things I had to go. I had to see what matched the wall, and it's apparently everything. Wait, so you said you had it shipped? What was it?
So
oh my God, what was it you had in your house that? Oh, your Volkswagen Golf was put on blocks.
Oh yeah, I had a little Volkswagen Golf diesel that I used to drive back and forth to work, and when I got the job when I got the job back in the States, but at AMC, my intention was always to go back. I'd already had like a semi-crack deal worked out with one of the guys that came to work there. He said, my wife hates it here. I don't want to be here. But the way it works when you take a special assignment overseas, they move you there on the government dime, taxpayer dime. And if you can leave anytime you want, but if you leave before 12 months, then you have to pay back the moving costs. And so the guy was like, well, I don't want to pay back the moving costs. So when a year is up, you go do a year there, and then there's a program you can actually do where if you have an equal grade and series, then you can have his supervisor say yes and your supervisor says yes, and you can actually swap positions. And so he said that, he wanted to do that in a year. And then we got close to that time. It was about 10 months in. I called the guy and said, hey man, if we're going to do this, we need to start planning it out, getting the paperwork together, whatever. And he's like, nah, man, I think I'm going to chill out. I was like, you son of a bitch.
I was going to say, who did you trade with? I didn't remember a Spo Randy showing up with a mustache.
God, I was hot. But anyway, so because of that, I left pretty much everything I had. I only took like the bare essentials with me here. And I had my old Golf there that was still running, still a good car. But I had to put it up on blocks while I was there. And then ended up selling to some Turkish guy that wanted, bottom dollar for. I mean, you know how they are.
Some Turkish.
It's. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I can't explain it, man. It's like me and my buddy, and we were in the Army. We used to have this expression, and we wanted to start our own brand called Rednecks Worldwide, because because it didn't matter what country you go to. There is somebody that acts just like a stereotypical redneck, trailer trash, ghetto, fabulous, whatever you want to call it. They all have the same baseline.
Oh yeah, they have the baseline configuration.
Yes, exactly.
They're all the same.
They all have the same baseline configuration. They all want to try to talk you down at every nickel and dime. It's like, no, I don't want to pay $10.25. I don't want to pay $10.20 for that. I'm like, come on, man, come on.
For Volkswagen Golf.
But he was really battered at home, and I was selling it for like next to nothing compared to market value. I just wanted to get rid of it, and he was still beating me up about it. And I said, fine, I'll lower it to your price, but I'm taking all the stereo equipment, because I was going to give him all the stereo equipment I had in there. And I said, fine, but I'm taking all the stereo equipment out. And he had his mechanic friend come look at it. I mean, it was a big, long, drawn-out process. He was like freaking out about this thing. Well, the check engine light was on it, but he knew that when he bought it. And I told him, I said, I don't know what it's for. It's been on for a little bit.
Little bit. 200,000 miles.
The whole time. It really hadn't been that long. I couldn't recall how long it had been on for. But his mechanic came and looked at it, and I had another mechanic come look at it, and they both said, yeah, there's nothing mechanically wrong with this. Well, then he ends up like a month later trying to come back at us saying, hey, you need to pay for these repairs on this thing because they're saying there's something wrong with the exhaust. I was like, no, dude, this is a used car that you got for bottom dollar. I said, get the hell out of my face. He tried to get an arbitrator, not a lawyer, but an arbitrator to come and make me pay for these
An
repairs.
arbitrator.
It was, oh man, it was
Where do you even
nonsense.
find an arbitrator?
I don't
I
know.
feel like they'd be more prevalent in Europe for some reason. You get the
well-
arbitrator.
It was
Kind
it
of like the
was-
word, kind of like who the hell a magistrate is.
Yeah, it was a big mess, a big hot mess, and it was even worse because the guys that showed up barely spoke German, and they didn't speak any English, and it was just a mess trying to even communicate with these guys. The whole thing was a disaster, and I hope I never have to do it again. Let's just say that.
So you don't have the Golf anymore.
No.
I figure you come driving it up here.
No, I tried to see about bringing it here, but it was just too much work to go through, all the paperwork and stuff to go through for getting it converted to American standards and stuff. It was just too much.
Can't even play Need for Speed anymore without getting reminiscent,
No.
getting nostalgic. It's the best car on there was the Golf.
That thing had some horsepower for as big as or as small as it was, rather. It was a 2-liter turbo diesel, and it was just a tiny little box. And I took it out on the Autobahn and opened it up a couple times.
And how fast did you go?
I got it up to 200 kilometers, so that's 160 miles an
So
hour.
it's like $1.80.
I think it's closer to 160. 160, I think is right at that. Let me think. 100 kilometers, 60 miles an hour. So 200 kilometers would be 120 miles an hour.
Doing math over here.
Yeah. But their roads are real good there, so especially the autobahns. So it was just like riding a wave.
Yeah, sorry. Damn these microphones. What is the Autobahn, like a racetrack, or is it just like a 72 that you can drive fast on?
It's like 565 that you can drive fast on, and it's
Like, is it shitty roads? Is it potholes everywhere? Or is it kept up?
No, it's kept up. That's one of the things that I have like a love-hate relationship with. Their gas prices are ridiculous. You're going to pay close to $7 to $8 an hour a gallon. 78% of that is tax. And
Wait, how much?
It's about $7 to $8 a gallon.
Oh shit!
Yeah. When I used to fill up on my Impala, it would cost me €100.
I couldn't hear over 3.
It was €100 every time I fill up my Impala, which was roughly $110 to $120 to fill up my Impala, and 78% of that is tax, and I think that's actually gone up since then. There was one of those consumer advocate groups that used to vandalize, or not, I don't want to say vandalize it, but they would go around to gas stations and put stickers on the gas pumps saying, know that for every euro that you spend on this gas, 78 cents of that is tax.
That's ridiculous. That's not even.
Yeah.
Kay Ivy be like, that'd be a little much.
But on the flip side of that, their roads were pretty great, but also
yeah, but damn.
But on the back on the opposite side of the negativity, you cannot drive through any town in Germany without hitting a construction zone, and it's a nightmare. It is. Even when you drive over the border from the Netherlands to Germany, you hit a construction zone. And my boys used to, when you see the sign for welcome to Germany, it says, welcome to Deutschland. And my boys would say, welcome to Baustellerland, which means construction land. Because everywhere you go is just construction.
It's like Hazard County. There's dips everywhere.
It's terrible. But on the stretches when they are clean, so the way the Autobahn works is like it's not like unlimited speed limit wherever you go. It's not that.
Really?
No.
I thought it was just balls to the walls from one to.
No, there's stretches of the Autobahn that are relatively straight, usually more than 2 lanes across, and there'll be no speed limit, but there is what they have a recommended speed limit, which is 130 kilometers an hour. And if you're driving over 130 kilometers an hour and you cause an accident, it's automatically your fault.
Damn.
Or if you're in an accident, not causing it. If you're in an accident driving over the recommended speed limit, then you're liable.
And you have to get right.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. That's another thing
Bear right.
I didn't. So I do like being able to pass on the right here in America, but one thing that I cannot stand that I wish that would, because it's actually a law in Alabama. You're supposed to stay out of the left lane.
Now it is.
But nobody does it. And I still get stuck. Every time I come home, I'm stuck behind Pawpaw and his fucking Mercury Sable and the fucking left-hand lane. And
they got to get over, like my father-in-law said, they got to get over at Ryland. They got to take a left. They got to take a left in 35 miles.
Yeah. And that's true. That's exactly true. But in any case, you're supposed to stay out of the left lane. You can get over to pass. Even in those no speeding zone or the no speed limit zones, but there's some areas like when you're coming past the Frankfurt airport, there's some areas where there's guys that are opening their cars up. I mean, they've got these, 7 Series BMWs and these R8s and stuff, and they're just opening it up. I mean, it's 200 miles an hour easy. You can feel your car going.
That would scare shit out of me.
Something
past you doing 200.
It's a little daunting at first. I remember when I went and picked up my grandmother, and I was driving 100 miles an hour in my Impala, and I'm cruising along, and people are flying past me, and I'm doing 100, and my grandmother goes, "My God, how fast are they going?" And I was like, "Well, I'm doing 100." She's like, "You're doing 100?"
We'll miss Granny. Was she Sally Field? We're going 110. We're going 110.
Yeah, basically.
You're doing 100. Which, how fast you think you're going? 60?
She thought I was doing maybe 75. And yeah,
Doesn't feel any different.
It doesn't, especially when everybody else is doing it too. It's not that big of a deal. But there's other areas, and that's, like I said, that's only usually straight sections of the Autobahn that are unlimited speed limit. It'll be 3 lanes wide. I don't think I recall seeing 2 lanes where it's got unlimited speed. I could be wrong about that, but it is nice to drive on it when you're not stuck in traffic for a fucking construction zone, which is always the case.
The Autobahn.
Yeah.
It's the name of every single person on every B-rate sci-fi movie. Autobahn. It's always their guide.
Yeah.
Speaking of spirit guides, I nearly quit my job again today.
Okay.
I can tell it's going to be a good day when I'm texting Mark Allen on the drive in. Dude, how? How do I end this now? By the end of the day, I was fine, but...
Yeah, I'm like that every day. And I mean, he's already gave me the road map. And even the companies that he works for now are looking for people. And the people they have are dirtbags. And, I mean, have you talked to him at all about, like, what happened to him when he had to... Mm-hmm. He got laid off from the one company, had to go work for Colsa, and then...
Yeah, came back because nobody could do anything.
Yeah.
Like, and 75% of their tickets weren't getting done.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no shit, nobody was there.
And he got a pay raise out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the whole reason that they made him leave, is because they said they couldn't pay him.
Mm-hmm.
And, yes. So he's doing well for himself.
Dude, those companies are slimy. Each and every one of them.
Yeah.
They're like, you should be a company man. No.
Yeah, that's the thing that always when I sit here and I watch all these guys that we go to lunch with on Fridays, they're always sweating bullets for contract change. They're always sweating bullets for, whether or not they're going to be ones that get cut, and so on and so forth. And, should I stay? Should I go? And that was one of the reasons that I mean, there was other factors, of course, but that was one of the reasons that I wanted to go in the government, just to have that security. But
I'll never worry about another contract change as long as I live. Take me. Cut me. See what happens. I'm going to get on the government tit so quick you can send your answer. 6 months of bliss. Maybe if the 2 people watching this would share the video, I wouldn't have to work anymore. Looking at you, Mom, and Ryan McNichol.
Who else is watching?
No one's watching. We got 2 people. We had up to 5. 7 playbacks. to be said. I know if you have to sit there and talk to your viewers while you're doing this, you're doing something wrong. It's interesting though. This little interface is cool.
So tell me about this this hot sauce.
Oh, Brian Shirky.
Yeah, this is hotter than hell.
Oh, it's good.
So, did you say they only make like certain amounts at a time, or are they actually trying to make a business, or are they making a business out of it?
He wants to make a business, but he's only making it in batches of what he can grow in his backyard.
I see.
So and they come in. It basically only has boxes like we have. I'm trying to find a picture of them, but yeah, he makes them. Here, see that?
Yeah.
So I got 2 flavors, hot and heat. Thanks. I haven't wanted anything else. I did a review of them and took a shot of it. Well, I should have tasted that first. But it's not like stupid like hot one's hot, but it is not Louisiana either. Like people are like, that makes my mouth burn. I'm like, that is like the best combo hot sauce there is. And I've got some, but I have like that shake at the bottom of the bottle. And I don't know if it'd be indicative of what's in it. I don't want to open my new bottle that I've had for three years.
I'm really something you know, especially after we were talking about, you know, ideas to, you know, get off the government tit. One of the things that I sit wherever I'm at, whenever I have free time, when I'm driving to work or in the shower, on the pot, wherever, you know, I have these trains of thought about, you know, things that I've seen, ideas that I've had, whatever the case may be. And, you know, I wish I knew a little bit more about the business aspect of some of these things, because one of the things that always got me curious, and one of the things I like most about shows like The Prophet and Shark Tank to an extent, is when they delve into the business side of it, about margins and things like that. But I always wonder about some of these local businesses, because they seem like they must have ridiculous margins. When I say ridiculous, I mean ridiculous bad margins for them to charge some of the prices that they charge for things.
How high they are?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm all about supporting these local people trying to do stuff, and I would rather buy stuff from them, because 9 times out of 10 it's better anyway. But they seem to all put premium pricing on their stuff, and I can only imagine it's because of margins.
Yeah, like buying from a food truck is $10 minimum.
Yeah,
no matter what.
Exactly. And I mean, I know this isn't really your cup of tea, but you know, with me having 2 vegan/vegetarian children, there's times where I don't eat meat, and not because I'm doing it for some ethical thing or anything like that. It's easier for me to just go ahead and make everybody a vegetarian dish and
quick.
then eat it.
Instead of making 2 and cleaning out the pan.
Right.
The organic soap.
And sometimes I even when I'm out and about and I just don't really feel like something that big and heavy, so I'll get something a little more on the vegetarian side. And when we went to, what was it, Brewfest on the Arsenal, they only had like two or three food trucks set up, and one of them was this vegan place called
Manic Organic.
No, Hippie. It's HIPPEA.
The happy tummy.
No, it's Hippie. Dang, I can't remember what the whole thing is called. But their whole shtick was they make all their sandwich out of chickpeas. They have like an emulsified chickpea base that they make, and form it into patties and put it on there with buffalo sauce or whatever. And if you go to the store, chickpeas are relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, get them in a. Is that what hummus is? Chickpeas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, chickpeas are not that expensive, but their cheapest sandwich was like $12. And I was like, and that's with nothing. That was just a sandwich, no chips, no drink, no nothing. And I was like,
Jesus.
And so I'm also expecting a huge sandwich, and it wasn't. It was a fairly small sandwich, if I have to be honest.
Yes.
But I just wonder there's got to be a margin issue somewhere. Either somebody's not doing their books right or not negotiating properly, and that's what leads me down the path of what I talked about last time with, going to like the farmer's market and negotiating with the guys that are growing stuff, and then, putting a sticker on the front that says, hey, I bought my zucchini at, Zucchinis R Us, and I bought, whatever, my tomatoes over here at Jim's Tomato
cheaper
Farm.
than shipping in organic, certified organic.
I can only imagine.
Shipping in certified organic's like, damn, you can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, I just go down those rabbit holes when I'm sitting and thinking about that kind of stuff. And I really wonder about the margin thing. I wish I could see somebody's book somewhere. Because, well, it just brought me to that because of the Hotter Than L thing. Because my buddy back in Germany, my old drummer, Jörg, shout out to Jörg. He's like real big on, American grill stuff and hot sauces and things like that. And so I wanted to send him like a little care package of stuff from Alabama. And at Publix, they've got like a section of all Alabama made sauces and things like that. And I mean, that stuff's like $9 a bottle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, geez Louise, what is going on with these hot sauce plants?
Anything other than garden variety, your big three is going to be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I think the Hotter Than Hell stuff's like $8 a bottle. I don't really know. I've always gotten it for a present. Maybe it's less. Brian's going to watch this and be like, dude, you sent me down the road. It's for $3. I don't know. I stockpiled 3 years ago.
So you said you subscribed to that Fuego box, right?
I did.
That was only like $5 a month or something?
It was a lot.
Oh,
it was a lot more than that.
Oh, okay.
It was like $30 for a box.
Geez.
Yeah.
That's
why I don't subscribe to it anymore.
How many bottles were in there? Like 3?
3.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, and they were all Fuego brand. I'm like, what am I shopping at Fuego Mart?
Okay.
It's a Fuego special, dude.
Okay. That's not what I thought it was then.
I like to have it in all the different hot sauces, but I could look on the internet and Google and join a subreddit
Right.
for cheaper, because they would send the same thing just in a different box every time, and then it would have the every once in a while there'd be one that was just basically syrup with peppers in it, and only every once in a while one was worth keeping, and I wrote those down. It came with the logbook.
Did you ever get the that one? I see it advertised on like Facebook and crap all the time. That truffle oil one. Have you seen that one?
I did not.
It looks good, and well, of course they make everything look good, but that's one I was thinking about trying. But I bet that's probably like $20 a bottle or something.
Can't be bad.
Nonsense like that.
What I don't like are these hot sauces that oh my gosh. What I don't like are these there's a bottle opener on that Bowie knife.
What is there?
Yeah. The last tang of the back of the blade.
This here?
Yeah. Isn't that a bottle opener? Stay tuned for YouTube Gold. Go the other way with it.
Yeah.
I always thought that's what it was. It may not be.
It's not grabbing it.
Oh.
Let me try it with the...
Randy's going to cut his arm off. Ooh.
Yeah.
I've got to have a bottle opener here somewhere. I could be like Macaulay Culkin. I actually have to pee. On Rogan.
Is this metal here?
Yeah.
I can do it from here.
Hey.
And because I'm bougie, I get my limes out.
Why don't I have a... Yeah, I'm probably on a toolbox. A clean. And I don't have anything back here. Organizational skills. Let's see. So, speaking of margins, truffle oil, hot sauce. See, I could just do this for like 6 hours a day. What do you want? Why don't you want to work? What do you want to do? Because this Williams Sonoma truffle burger bomb. Okay, truffle hot sauce. Is it called truff?
It might be.
This is a lot. You don't want to sit down for this one.
It has like a black label.
Yeah, it looks hippie. It looks very posh.
Yeah.
It's at $17.98.
So
Free
I was
shipping.
close. $20
What?
a bottle.
What kind of white people ass shit is this? Look.
White people.
Look, I'm not even going to tell you what's on here. I'm just going to turn it over. You can look, and then LOL. I may spin the... Look, let's go to the picture. Oh, gosh. So we have our $17 truffle oil hot sauce. And what is it placed with as an example of the correct utilization of hot sauce with a bowl of macaroni and cheese? Okay. They really have a demographic in mind.
No.
Their Venn diagram is like a solar eclipse. Who are we after? White people. What kind of white people? White people. Only. Rich white people? Just white people.
Every time I see stuff like that or I hear about stuff like that, I just think about that that Dave Chappelle sketch with the game show, and they're like, white people. Every time they flash over, which one was it? Was there was the one where white people were trying to say that they knew black people.
Oh, it's like Noah. It's like Noah Black Man.
Yeah, dude, how well do you know black people or whatever it was? And there was whenever they would flash to another guest or another question, they would have this sound like an studio audience saying white people. So,
I know black people. That's what it's called.
Yeah, that's what it was.
There's one that just said it's pimping easy. Hell yeah. Somehow that's right. They did that on SNL like 10 years later with that Black Jeopardy.
Yeah.
With Tom Hanks as Doug. He goes, I got a Leroy too. His name's Vernon. He lives down the street. He can fix anything. you know Doug. You know Leroy. Then it cut away. He goes, next category, people that matter. Nice knowing you, Doug. That was the best one. He said, I like a sturdy gal myself. He goes, you all right, Doug?
Okay.
She's a sturdy gal. Sounds like my uncle.
Yeah. And it's funny seeing, anytime I've seen Chappelle, his new stand-up, well, I guess they're like a year old now, but
yeah.
But those stand-ups and I've seen other stuff since then, and he seems like kind of bitter about the whole what's those guys, Key and Peele.
Yeah, he goes, Key and Peele do my show.
Yeah, he's like, and these motherfuckers come in and do my show for the last 5 years, and when he said it in the special, I was like, okay, that's funny. But I've heard him say it a few more times since then. He's alluded to them stealing his idea of doing his show, and he seems like genuinely bitter about it. I don't know if bitter is the right word. Maybe just a little pissy.
Well, you left a vacuum. Well, Dave Chappelle.
That's true.
Like ISIS filled in after Saddam.
Yeah, that show was very relevant and definitely ahead of anything that was happening at the time. I mean, we can still watch it now and still laugh about it.
It comes on and you don't even know it's old. Until he does like one or two skits.
Unless you watch like the first season and it's in 4:3 format. Yeah,
I've noticed that. Like it's great on the old TVs.
Yeah.
But so is King of the Hill. So it's the same.
See, I never got much. I think I maybe watched 2 episodes of that ever.
I watched 2 episodes today.
It should have been something I watched because I was a huge Mike Judge fan, and yeah, I should have watched it.
And Michael Rappaport. Welcome to Pop Copy. I am the manager.
Unless you mean the owner of Pop Copy, and maybe you know his number. I don't know it.
He said, why? That's why. They're customers. He don't care. Trying to find relevant stuff here. I always have one thing to talk about, and I never remember it.
So soccer, huh? That happened.
Hey, I have an advertisement for truffle hot sauce on my Facebook now. I've never heard of it until 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Jeez. At least they're watching the podcast. Hey, Facebook. Hey, Zook. Bring back Alex Jones, Zook. InfoWars. Woo! Now I'm banned.
Yep, you just got.
Now I'm banned. Kent State Gun Girl. What up? Ramen hair.
What is happening right now?
I think I lost a viewer. And it drops as I said Kent State Gun Girl. I don't know. Scaring folks. That's hilarious. Oh, now they're putting it on pizza. Come on. It's just a video of them putting hot sauce on white people's stuff. There's some crab wontons. Let's see. It's a funny story. Crab wontons. Me and Holly, when they first put the P.F. Chang's in here, she never liked seafood before she met me. Like, not much at all. And I was going to have some crab wontons. She started crying. What is wrong with you? I'm so hungry, and I can't eat those. Now guess who eats all the crab wontons? Can we get 2 orders of crab wontons, please? Yeah, thanks. Wish I could have some crab wonton. I ain't had one in 5 years.
That's terrible.
Yeah, now she eats catfish and goes to the beach and fishes for catfish. Hated them. Cried over wontons. Sounds like a skit.
Yeah, I'm still the only person in my house that eats seafood.
What?
Yeah.
You live with all those Germans? I don't know what that has to do with anything.
They don't eat seafood.
I feel like Germans should
They
eat
don't
seafood.
even know what seafood is.
What is that?
You might be lucky to get.
Hey. Oh God, the little one's home.
You'll be lucky if you get like.
Hey, quit beating on the door. My kids hate me otherwise. Until I shut that door, they hate me.
Yeah.
See, in my mind, I don't know why. I know good and well, but I think Germans are like connoisseurs of every single thing.
No. They're still fantastic when it comes to beer. I mean,
yeah,
there's no.
They are the beer.
There's no getting around that, and they'll whip up a mean sausage in a heartbeat too.
That's why every beer sounds like a concentration camp. The
strangest thing to me, though, when I first got there, was seeing that their pork industry was so huge.
There she is. I was just telling the story about the time you cried over wontons.
Because they had crab in them and I didn't eat crab.
I said, now I got to have 3 orders because somebody eats all the wonton.
Hey, Randy. Come on, let's go. Let's go eat our ice cream.
There's ice cream. Ice cream.
Motherfucker, hey, ice cream.
I don't know what just happened.
I don't remember what the hell I was saying.
You talk about Germans eating sausage, and that's about all they do.
I don't think that's what I said.
That's what I heard.
Oh, their pork industry. Their pork industry is huge there. Their beef industry is very small, and most of their beef is imported.
I wouldn't think that. I thought they'd be equal.
No.
Here.
But they have pigs for days. But try to go to a German butcher and ask for bacon. You ain't getting it. No, they don't. And they only recently. Well, I don't know if "recent's" the right word.
They got bellies.
They do have pork bellies, but I don't know. They always cut it in huge hunks and then cure it, and it's just a hard hunk of stuff. Then you can also get these pork belly sandwiches.
That's probably good though.
My buddy Bo, he loves them. He swears by these pork belly sandwiches.
Cured pork bellies gotta be good. I mean,
but they're big on these, pork steaks and not so much the butts, but mostly like chops and things like that and fillets. But ribs was never a big thing. You couldn't get I don't know what they were doing with them. You'd find like this little tiny section that have like this little tray of ribs. But the ribs and the bacon was like non-existent. They recently started getting a little more popular because more people are getting into grilling over there.
You think they could be making all the sausage out of it?
That's the only thing I can guess.
You can't just throw ribs away.
That's
half the pig.
I know. I don't know. That kind of blew my mind that it was like impossible to get ribs over. Well, I don't want to say impossible. I'm over exaggerating. I'm still not really sure what he meant, but my friend Torsten, he just recently listened to the last podcast that I was on. And
here? Oh, mine?
Yeah.
People listen to this.
And
Hi, Torsten.
he sent me a message, and he's like, dude, I didn't know you felt that way about Germany. And I was like, is that?
Oh shit!
I was like, I didn't mean to be like negative or anything. He's
Sorry,
like,
you hate German.
I was like, I wasn't trying to like poo-poo on it. He's like, no, but I just thought your opinion was different. And so he was like very nondescript with his description of what my opinion supposedly is. I'm curious to know what he actually thinks, because maybe I have come on here and like just said, well, I hate this and I hate that and this happens and this sucks, and I don't want it to sound like that, because there was plenty of stuff that I liked over there.
What was the subject?
So he wrote me like this big long text, and he was like, well, actually, by the way, you don't like going to the hospital,
There's no real bats in the room.
Yes. Those are fake bats.
It's Michael Keaton. He's there for the Make-A-Wish.
Michael Keaton. But the doctor visits having copays was one thing. He's like, they only did that for like a year or two or whatever, and then they did away with it. So they don't pay copays anymore when they go to the doctor. And that was something that I was arguing at home just the other day, actually, was everybody was complaining about how expensive the doctors are here. I said, yes, things are more expensive here when you look at it from a one-to-one standpoint. But if you look at how much you had to pay every single month in Germany.
Oh, yeah, you're getting into taxes.
For the level of care that you received, along with, or compared to what you pay here, you might be able to say that it's equal. The only difference is that over there it's required to have health insurance, and it comes directly out of your check whether you want it to or not. Whereas here we have a little more. Now they do have different. So even though it's socialized medicine, they do have different. I guess you'd call them companies within their social structure, and you can say, well, I want the top level one, so I want to pay an extra percentage every month, and you'll get better care and private rooms and fancy stuff like that. You can pay. I had the mid-tier one when I was there, at least as I was told it was a mid-tier. I'm sure Torsten's going to send me another message, tell me how wrong I am, but
you had the American version.
And then they have lower levels where you can pay less into it, but your level of care is going to be much, much less. It hasn't gotten to a tipping point like what they're talking about in England, where there's waiting lines for surgeries and
that's how it happens.
Stuff like that.
At first, it's all good.
There's things I like about it, but what I was telling them at home was that, both her and I were paying into their socialized medicine, and she's like, "Well, but the boys were getting it for free." And I was like, well, it's not really they were getting it for free. We're still paying for it. It's still, if you were to average it out comparatively to what I was paying, what you were paying every month, and then what I'm paying every month now for the four of us, it's pretty significantly different.
Yeah, they're basically getting it for free now anyway, because they're still paying. You're still paying for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the word free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? It should be free.
Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up and show, or at least say what he said, because I don't want to put anything out of context.
Oh, I need that entire text. What's his name? Thorsten?
Torsten, yeah.
Torsten. It's a German name.
So
Torsten,
he was saying,
Torsten, you're going to Skype one day, right? Ja, I will Skype you.
So he gave me
He hates me.
He gave me a big FYI. He said,
sorry, Torsten, I really love you.
So
probably related.
I guess apparently I couldn't remember the word for the town hall that you go to when you want to file for unemployment. And it's the Arbeitsamt. I don't know why I couldn't. I don't know why I couldn't remember
it just rolls off the tongue.
I don't know why I couldn't remember that.
Believe you're not remember the Arbeitsamt.
And
What the hell?
And let's
It's the
see.
most German thing I've ever heard.
The-
And I've
he's-
seen every Indiana Jones.
He said the 10-year-old for a doctor's visit isn't paid anymore. They terminated that about 3 years ago. He said, and I guess we talked about the painkiller stuff, and he said that he received morphine after his surgery. He just had it. I don't know if he wants me to give out his business, but he had a surgery just recently, and it's pretty. What I consider major. And he said that he got morphine for it. And later on, I guess after the initial severe pain period, they prescribed ibuprofen after that.
Have some ibuprofen. Thanks.
But he did say, he said more severe pain is usually treated with higher medication, but I just need to admit that the Germans are harder than me. That's that was his answer.
I think we're going to have a hard off here. Better than a hard off.
There was I guess
Ew.
the story I told about the bats, and he asked me,
Is he saying that there's no bats in Germany?
the whole issue. He was asking. He said basically that we went to a farmer village hospital, and that's why we got treated the way that we did. And
How is there such thing as a farmer? See, the fact that that's even existed. The farmer village.
Yeah.
It has thatched roofs. That goes to the hospital with thatched roofs. There's no villages in America.
And I also
have
spoke to the
slums.
fact that when I had my surgery, I was stuck in a hospital room with another old dude, nice enough dude, but some old dude with no separation between the two of us, and we did not have a television in the room.
What?
And
See,
he says usually hospital rooms have at least one TV, and he said he thinks that it's mandatory. And I'm almost sure that there was no television in our room. I could be misremembering, but
some good ass morphine.
in any case.
He was actually on morphine. The dude wasn't even there. That's the twist.
But in any case, he did follow or end it off with, anyway, good podcast nonetheless. Excited to listen to the rest of it.
Yes. I have a German audience. Share with your friends, Thorsten.
Yeah, so
You can't be racist against Germans. I can say whatever I want. It's fair game. I found a loophole. Germans.
there was
Half my family.
I did live on their system for many years. I actually, I paid into. I'll collect I think I mentioned it before. I don't want to keep saying the same things, but I will collect a German retirement check for the grand sum of €250 a month when I retire.
Did you
but
work?
I would have got more than that, but I pulled my portion of it out.
Did you work like in the general population before 2011? Or did you go straight from the army to government?
I went straight from the army into contracting, and the contracting that I worked for was under the German system.
Okay, I was wondering because
It was a weird. I still don't even know how it's legal. I know there's like a lot of weird stuff with the way that they did the Standards of Forces agreement over there. But I honestly don't know how they can justify someone like myself, an American citizen, working on an American contract, but having to pay German taxes in the German social system, especially with the statuses that we work on now. You would think that would not be allowed. So
yeah, that's
it was a very, very gray situation.
it almost seems really conflict of interesty
Yes.
in a weird way.
Yes. And the worst part about it is they made it was kind of you would think it would be a best of both worlds, but it ended up being a worst of both worlds, because they made things, at least for me, I can't speak to everybody's, all this information is anecdotal, but it just seemed like I always got a lot of pushback about me working there and living there and paying taxes there. Every time I had to go down to the Standesamt and and take care of anything to do with my residency or my work permits, it always just seemed like a hassle, and there was never anything easy about it. Sitting in line with all these other foreigners, and being treated like I shouldn't even be there. And up until recently, I don't, and Torsten will probably send me a text about how recent it was, but up until recently, they used to be able to still be allowed to smoke at their desk at the city hall offices.
Jeez, I would think they still
So
would be.
you get your number called, you go back in there, and there's Stefan sitting there puffing away and giving you the evil eye, asking you why you're in his country. And
I thought Europe was smoke till you got them
no, that
in this horrible existence.
Germany started getting real tight with where you can smoke now.
Jeez. Imagine that. Germans made a rule.
And the French, on the other hand, that's another story.
Parlez-vous.
But I don't know. I mean, maybe I was just being somewhat confrontational, but I just felt like I was unwanted every time I'd go in those offices. And on the flip side of it, when I went to the American bases to work, they treated me like I was some terrorist. There was guys that were actual German, some of them not even German citizens. They were like, Turks and things like that were had work permits to be here as well, that were given full access to American installations just because they cut grass everywhere, and they were on the contract for lawn maintenance. But me, as an American citizen, I could only go to the installation where I worked at during certain hours. And whatever those hours were dictated by whatever our contract was.
Really? You couldn't even go to work?
Yeah. If it was after hours, I'd have to get a special badge, and they'd have to like put in for it weeks in advance and say, this guy is going to be here on Saturday doing maintenance or whatever. And then on top of that, we were not allowed to use any of the American facilities while we were there. We couldn't go to the commissary. We couldn't go to the PX.
What?
The only thing that we were allowed to do if we wanted to was to go to the church. Everything else on the installation we were not allowed to participate in. And that has to do with the weird status of forces agreements and, having to pay taxes. Because everything at the PX and commissary is tax-free.
I was going to say, I can't go to either of those. As a contractor, I can go to the shopette. Yeah,
if you...
buy pork rinds.
But if you were overseas, if you went under what they call TESA status, technical expert status something, I can't remember what the A stands for, then you would get logistically supported by the U.S. government, meaning you could use all of the facilities on every base.
Yeah, you get the special CAT card.
Yeah.
Says you can go to all those places.
Yeah. So I felt like unwanted all around when I was working in that status. I felt like the Americans didn't want me there. I felt like the Germans didn't want me there. With the exception of my friends. My friends are awesome. I mean, I loved my time with those people over there, and the people that I met there are awesome. I can't say better things about them. And I wish that there was some happy medium that we could come to where I could still spend time with those people.
They could come to America.
That would be ideal.
The land of milk and honey.
Torsten actually, he was on contract for like 3 weeks working up in Chattanooga. And, I went up and visited him a couple times while I was up there.
I remember that. It was like 2 years ago, wasn't it?
It was when I was here the first time. So it was like 14.
It had been a long time ago. 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
I remember you going to visit somebody there.
Yeah, that was him. I think their thing is that most of them say the same thing, that they love coming here, they love visiting here, they love the cultural things here, they love the food, of course, but they don't think they would want to stay. They would always want to go back home.
Change their mind.
Yeah. And there was a short time during, I would say 2005 to 8 maybe, where I didn't think I was coming back to the States. I thought I was going to stay over there forever. Just the way things were going, and I was comfortable. I had an easy job that was making decent money, and that I've heard stories about this recently, as like for example, that Colsa contract that everybody was freaking out about. I guess Colsa's had that contract for the last 10, 15, 20 years or some crap. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. Contract's coming up soon. And they're like, oh shit, we lost the contract. And so everybody was freaking out. It's like, hey, these guys had it for 15 years. How could they possibly lose it? It was the same thing when I was in Europe. I started working for ITT when I was over there. And
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. and
It's like hearing for NCI or something.
ITT, when I got on that contract, they were like, oh yeah, we've had this contract for the last 20 years. This contract's been around forever. We've had it forever. We've been doing a good job. Don't worry about nothing. 5 months later, Mantech wins the contract. And I was freaking out. That was my very first contract change. So I was freaking the fuck out. I thought for sure.
That's not that big of a deal.
Well, I know, but it was my first one. It was the first one I ever been to. I was like, holy crap, does that mean I'm not going to have a job now? What am I going to have to do? Am I have to reapply for my job? Am I going to be fighting with everybody else or whatever? But then once I went through it, I was like, well, okay, well, if that's all it is, then who cares?
It can be. Whoa. Did you hear that? Might have been just me. This shitty equipment. Yeah, those contract changes can be stressful. Mostly because of the rumors.
Yeah.
The rumors are the worst part.
Yeah.
I heard they're going to bring in a whole new group of people. We got to interview for our own jobs.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's never going to happen because they're going to lose it in a week if none of us are here.
And if our position was identified as one of those positions for the new people, we have to fight to the death in the parking lot. And I mean, all of it was the same stuff. I mean, worldwide.
Mine comes up February and I'm waiting for it. I'm like goal line defense. 5 seconds left. Do it. Let me go. See what happens. They're not going to do it. They're not going to let me go. They never let you go if you want to get let go. Those are the guys you keep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the assholes that stay for 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't care if they fire me and flip off the boss. You flipped off the program manager. He flipped me right back. No one cares.
Yeah.
I know all the passwords. They can't get rid of me.
But I really thought, especially after I was there for a while, my supervisor kept telling me my first station I was at, he said, they've been talking about closing down our site for a long time. And he said, any year now they could shut us down. And I was like, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Well, shortly after I started working there, they started this $500,000 contract for installing these new line of sight radios and just new equipment. It was $500,000 worth of equipment, and so I don't know how much the contract was actually worth, but they ran fiber up to our station and everything. And I was like, well, surely they're not going to shut us down now.
Ooh, bad move.
3 months after they finished the installation and it got approved, they shut us down and they gutted the whole entire station.
Yep.
I could not believe it. That was the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That would have been the worst case scenario for me. Oh, God, they're installing something new. I mean, somebody's getting a star off of this.
Yep.
Anytime there's a project like that.
And that's what happened.
So what was the range between hearing about it and them closing it down? Like 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, if it was, I heard it's going to be next week.
That.
I think it'll be next week.
I think. So I started working there in October of 2001, and they shut it down October 2005. So 4 years.
That's about right.
Yeah.
5 years, 4 years. Yeah. Good turnaround.
They actually left the station unmanned for a year, and then started gutting it after that. And because I had worked there for 4 years, and I was working at another station close by, they basically assigned me as the permanent, hey, you need to go check on that station guy.
Oh, dear God.
Which was awesome. It was on top of the mountain, and I was by myself, so I just go up there and just make sure all the lights still worked, and all the equipment's still running, the fans aren't fucking blowing fire or whatever.
That was me for 6 months when y'all showed up at 4,400. I was that guy.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. What's wrong with there's a bat in the VTC? Oh,
yeah,
man.
it was but my point to all of that was that I thought that that particular contract in general was pretty solid. I thought it was going to be something that's going to be around for a while, and little did I. Well, I mean, I realized it in time because there's other guys that they tried to hang on and grasp straws until the very end.
You don't want to do that.
But
It'll be that guy.
I saw it a couple years out, and once I started realizing the technology that was in all those facilities was so far behind
Mm-hmm.
what they were moving to, I said, this place is not going to be around. This place is going to be gone in no time.
That's writing on the wall.
And so I got out of there as soon as I could. But I remember the guys that stuck around, they were freaking out when they closed that place down. But those are the guys that were useless anyway. You didn't want to take them along for any rides.
If you've got writing on the wall, it's your fault.
Yeah.
It's like a PEO. I saw writing on the wall. They started going to that automated stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm going to stick around for AI to take my job. That one dude, who was the universal income guy? Stephen Yin.
Andrew Yang.
Yeah, Andrew Yin. Stephen Yin. That's Glenn from Walking Dead. Hey, asshole. Yeah, Andrew Yang. He's talking about $1,000 a month for a trucker. Thanks. No thanks. I'll just learn the code. Oh, I'm out of coffee.
Wow, that's 2 banned sentences that you said in one podcast.
Ooh, I'm out. Wish I could make WAFF or something. From local podcast bashes Germans and tells people to learn the code. Please put up my Instagram handle. Please put up my Instagram handle.
Tells truckers to fuck off.
Flips off his program manager in the podcast. Not my specific program manager, just all program managers.
Let me turn it around.
If you're I don't always drink beer on a farmwood table that was built in Arab, but when I do, I drink Dos Equis with lime. It's basically a salad.
Basically.
It's got your croutons, it's got your lime.
Have at it.
It's in a bowl.
Dressing.
There's fuzz for some reason, like a good Western sizzling salad. Let's see here. Oh, we're kicking in an hour here. Hour and 6 minutes.
We still have any viewers?
We've had 2 the whole time. I don't know who they are. Probably my mom. Hi, Mom. I was trying to check out. See, because you do these first episodes, it's just logistics. So, dude, you're just looking at your screen. I'm trying to figure stuff out.
Well, those people can fuck off.
Yeah. Stop looking at your screen. Oh, I got a YouTube follower.
Tune in next week, folks. Don't fuck off exactly.
You got a dog in your lap in this picture. I'm not. Oh, speaking. Did you see the NASA boat I saw today?
I did.
Yeah, I was driving down by the river.
What is it?
They were. It's called the Pegasus. I said it's like an intergalactic airstream. It's like the real version of the Spaceballs. Bill Pullman and John Candy.
Oh, yeah.
It's a. I don't know how big it is, but good
Rest
Lord.
in peace, Bill Pullman.
John Candy too, you unsensitive bastard.
His more recent.
Bill Pullman's not even dead. Bill Paxton is.
Well, they're all the same. It's the same guy.
Look, you know how big it is?
Is it not the same? Are you serious? Am I mixing them up?
It had the rocket system engine in it. That's how big it is.
Huh.
Bill Pullman and Bill Paxton are not the same person.
Well, I know they're not the same person. Which one died?
Paxton.
And that's Independence Day guy.
No. Paxton is Twister. Fifth Element.
It's the same guy. How is it not the same guy?
Oh my God.
That's the Game Over guy from Aliens.
Yeah.
That's the same guy from Independence Day.
No, Bill Paxton's not in Independence Day.
Which guy was Independence Day?
Bill Pullman. Oh my God. What is happening?
How was it not? You're a goddamn filthy liar is what you are. This is not happening.
This is real. Oh my God. You're really...
Independent.
How do you not know the difference between Bill Pullman and... You got no room to talk to me about anything. Oh. No, it's the same guy. Game over, man. Game over. Wasn't he? He was in Fifth Element too, wasn't he? He had crazy hair.
No. Gary Oldman was in Fifth Element with Bruce Willis and Chris Tucker and...
What's Chris Tucker doing?
Regretting not going to Friday Part 2.
You see the words coming out of my mouth. Bill Paxton, alien.
How did they mix that up?
I don't know. He looked like.
I mean, I know they're different guys, but in my head, I'm still seeing Bill Pullman saying the Independence Day speech, and then he's doing the game over stuff.
This is classic Mandela.
Yes, it
This
is.
in your world.
This is the Berenstain Bears thing.
In your universe, Bill Pullman and Bill Paxton were the same people.
What
Told you didn't exist.
What is this Berenstain Bears?
The Mandela effect.
Yeah, I know. But what is the controversy with the Berenstain Bears?
When we were little, it was called Berenstain Bears.
Like ST.
Yeah, like Steen, like a German
or
slash
EI?
German slash IE, I before E, except after C.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually Stain with an A. Yeah.
That's right.
Welcome to the fishbowl.
Yes.
Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome to the rabbit hole. You don't see it either.
Yes. Okay, that's what it was. I remember reading about it, but I also remember my mind being blown because I know it was with an E. Because I even watched that damn dumbass cartoon on Saturday mornings.
Yeah. But to my defense, I never could say it right anyway, so it could have been any of them. When I was little, Berenstain Bears. I think I called them Bannister Bears at one point.
Bannister Bears.
Dude, Mandela is real. I don't know which way you go to work. If you go by Sinram or Moore's Mill to 72 and up the mountain, or if you go like down Shields. Oh, you go down Shields.
Yeah, I go down.
You
Jordan,
come out by McDonald's.
Jordan and Shields. And,
Come out by the Arby's. Have the meat for sandwiches.
Yeah.
But if you come out from Moore's Mill and go up the mountain, apparently they just matrixed in some big fucking trees right there. Because the first 35 years of my life, there were no trees right there, but now they are. And they're like, those have always been there. I said, the hell they haven't. I've never seen it. I've never noticed a tree there.
Okay, where are you talking about?
When you
At the intersection?
When you go past the pony, across the tracks,
yeah,
and round, when you're coming to
Yeah.
the red light, there's trees on the right.
Yes.
Like in the ditch, like they grow, like they can't
yes.
mow there.
Yes.
Those haven't always been there. Because I used to look over, and then there's a pine thicket up toward the land trust where they don't mow anymore, where the woods start.
Mm-hmm.
And you could always see up through there and see all the deer and turkey in the morning. And now all of a sudden you can't see the deer and turkey. I've been looking at deer and turkey there since 2009.
How many squirrels do you see climbing the tree in the morning?
Dude,
If it's more than one, it's a glitch in the matrix.
that's stupid black cats. And one time I was coming down that mountain and the light turned red. I go to slow down. I look up and it's green. I said, what the fuck? I just knew it. I said, it's real. We're in a simulation. Elon's here.
Do you only drive that way so you can look at the Bigfoot?
I do go look at the Bigfoot. Bigfoot shirt on.
I knew it.
Can't hate the Bigfoot, though.
That Bigfoot sits at the utility department, doesn't it?
No, it's at this composite place. They make chemicals.
That's right.
Because Derek Maynor is obsessed with that damn thing. He stopped in there one day and asked him if he could buy one, and they act like he was crazy. He's gonna buy Bigfoot. And if you're not knowing Derek Maynor, you think, who is this mountain man, inbred looking? Hey, let me get a. Of course, now I'm pissed off Derek Maynor, but he can fight back. He was in the army.
We
He's
should-
gonna buy Bigfoot.
We should get him to come over late at night and we'll go steal it.
And 3 guys with security clearances. What's the worst that could happen? I want to wear a podcast shirt when I get put on the news. Bobby Dizzle Podcast. When I get out, all live all night. You know, with the Bigfoot thing, I have to pay 10% to the composite company for tearing down their gas line. Be what's that called? Garnishing my wages for the rest of my life. It's kind of interesting because
Over a giant Bigfoot.
because they've got where their Bigfoot is where their gas lines terminate. For whatever, I guess they've got some kind of tank or chemical or something in there, and it comes up and it's where they terminate and have the meter and everything, and it's in a roped off thing. So they've got constant surveillance by everybody driving by looking at it. I thought about that before. I'm like, why would they put it there? So I guess it's nobody's going to get it. If I can find a picture of him. I got a picture of Bigfoot with the Easter Bunny hat on from 10 years ago. Love that Bigfoot. I love all Bigfoots.
Not
You
real.
know how they're not real.
They're not real.
I'm slowly coming to the realization that they're not.
I don't know why this is something you have to come to
that-
realization of.
I really, really like the subject of Bigfoot.
I think you like the idea of there being a Bigfoot. I don't think you really believe.
At
that-
least 3 times a week, I watch the Joe Rogan Questions Everything about Bigfoot. I may watch it tonight. Sometimes I get tired of it because every time it cuts to commercial for its little, what's the one they spin the next segment? You know, something exciting's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's Joe going, dude. If you get all the way to the end, he's tripping over something. Dude. I should play it. But there's a bootleg channel because your uncle. That's the only reason I found it. Your uncle was on there.
Right. I just introduced my kids to that fact, and their minds were blown.
Dude, I watched that one too. Because it's like there's some reality to it. Because some of the stuff they do, I'm like, really?
Yeah. So my his son, my cousin, is a what's the word? When you're just starting out, a fledgling documentary maker. He actually has a documentary on Netflix.
You could just say he's new.
Well, I know, but there's like a word that people say.
Okay.
But he's got a documentary on Netflix.
What?
Yeah, it's I think it's called Tiny.
It's the tiny house guy.
Yeah,
You told me about that. Yeah.
So I guess he worked on another one, but I don't think I saw that one, and I don't know if it got on Netflix or not. But he's working on one right now about my uncle, that he's going to do this, story about his life and his work and, stuff like that. I don't know how that's going to come out, but that's my understanding. That's what he's working on right now.
Like, how do you make a documentary? It's always bothered me.
I don't know, but I've listened to, a few of the JRE guests.
This has a point, by the way. You're
that-
really going to like where it's going.
And they talk about how there's basically no money in documentaries.
There can't be. You just put a bunch of found footage together.
Basically.
It's not even like you can skew it any way you want to.
But my understanding, I could be way off base on this. I'm not an expert in this subject at all. My understanding is that you have to go to either you have to fund it all up front yourself and then hope that you make your money back on the back end, or you go to somebody and basically get a grant style, funding from some small studio to say, hey, I need $50,000. And I'm also, I've, again, not an expert. I could be way off base, but I also understand that there's like certain federal, local, state grants that you can get for doing filmmaking, and like,
Really?
oh, well, I want $5,000 to. I don't think it's $5,000. I'm just throwing out numbers, but I need $5,000 to make my documentary, and you apply for it and you get it.
That makes sense because it can bring money to an area.
Right. But yeah, I don't really know the full aspect and range of what's involved with that and how it comes to be or anything like that. But even the one that my cousin made for the tiny house stuff was pretty shoestring budget. You could tell just by the documentary itself. It was just
A lot of driving shots.
him and a couple cameras, and it was like his girlfriend and a couple of my family members and stuff like that were in the actual.
I think I watched it one time. It had been out like 2 years.
It's been out a while. It was out when I was here last time.
I know it's been out a long time. It's not the first time I've heard about it.
Yeah, but there's it's relative. It doesn't even show up as the first listing. There's like 6 documentaries about tiny houses now.
There's like a whole show based on them.
Yeah, that too. And that was one of the things that my uncle brought up I think it was my uncle in his documentary, because he did interviews with my cousin, and he did interviews with my uncle, and he did interviews with I think his girlfriend and some other people. And my uncle even brought up, he said, I'm really curious to see what Christopher does with this, because he has a tendency not to follow through with projects or ideas that he has. And I don't know where he stands on it right now, but I follow my cousin on social media, and since he's made the documentary and the first maybe 6 months after the documentary, he was all hot and heavy about tiny living and tiny houses and yada yada, and check out this tiny house convention
He
and
got
whatever.
that Netflix check. He's in a big house.
And now you don't hear a peep about tiny living. So I can only imagine it was just another fad thing for him to do.
Well, if he finished the documentary, I mean.
Yeah, but even in the documentary, his whole spiel / shtick.
So he was bought into the living.
Yeah, was all about, well, we really need to reduce our footprint and yada yada yada.
I think he got over it.
And then, but yeah, basically got over it.
What's his name? We'll look him up.
Christopher Smith. I'm sure. I'm sure he's the only one you'll find.
You could have just said, "I'd rather not say." I'm typing in Christopher Smith in Facebook like it's going to come up.
Well, just go to my profile and it should be on there. You should be able to see him.
I said all that. I asked about the documentary. I came up with one other. Did I not mention the one I thought about the other day? I think I was going to save it for this, actually.
I don't think so.
But we got to talking about how certain sects of the society doesn't eat pork outside of the Muslims and the Jews. And I wanted to do like a whole documentary called like "I Don't Eat No Poke." After someone we used to work with who used to say that all the time, and I'm like, why? And he's like, heart disease, and you're like, dude, you just ate like 8 donuts. Maybe try pork chop; they're lean.
Yeah.
But I'm like, do a documentary like, why don't you eat pork? Well, kids are here back.
Well,
It bothers me. It bothers me. But like, he's in that hole. Well, they go to the splash pad downtown in North Huntsville, and the Huntsville City Schools has a food truck that delivers to those kids. And my kids are always like, yeah, I'll take some free money. We don't need the free food. Do not get the free food. And they're like, and they get bananas and kids and free shit. Like, here, give it all of me. I hate all this food. I eat like one bite.
yeah.
But there was people mad because the turkey looked like ham.
What?
And they don't eat no poke. And I'm like, why? Heart disease. No, it's not. Pork doesn't any more heart disease than chicken or beef or lamb. And they always go with, I eat turkey bacon, beef bacon, beef ribs. I'm like, get the fuck out with beef ribs, man. What is that? It's like a steak on a stick.
Yeah, basically.
There's no way that can be good.
I don't understand it.
Are those ribs beef? No, they're not ever going to be beef.
Yeah, I didn't. So I was fairly ignorant to that kind of stuff, and I didn't know that there was a section of Christianity that followed that.
Really?
particular-
Is it Christianity? I thought it was just like a section of. There's Corey Lee. What are you doing?
So I thought, yeah, it was it's those
Latter Day?
Seventh Day. No, that's the Mormons.
Oh.
Seventh Day Adventists or whatever it's called. I'm terrible when it comes to.
So it is religious.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't know that.
I spoke to the person in question. I actually spoke to him about it, and he says,
we all know who it is.
Well, the Bible says that you can't eat from a split hoof animal, or whatever it said. I don't know the exact scripture. I'm not a scriptologist or whatever whatever they call themselves. I'm not a script scholar, but I know that there's a section where it says, do not. It's the same section that says about not eating fish and mixed fabrics and all that other nonsense. There's a section where it says that you aren't to eat the meat of a split-hoofed animal, and that's their reasoning for not eating the good stuff. And I don't want to say I made friends with the guy, but I became friendly with him by virtue of my going and playing basketball with the rest of them.
Yeah, you did. You break your ankles. Break your ankles.
But I finally had to ask him because it was just getting on my nerves.
Oh, it was every day.
It was like a constant thing.
And especially sitting 10 feet from me, everything I have is a dead pig.
Yeah.
And like, was that is that beef? Is that beef bacon? No,
Yeah.
it's not. They don't have bacon on them. They're a cow.
Yeah. And so when, over in Germany, they have the Turks, of course, are mostly Muslim.
That was me.
Very.
That was taking
Hey.
before.
Take the iPad out of here. iPhone out of here. Go.
And it's torn down.
Take it out of here. I don't want to get kicked off YouTube for you playing.
So, most of the Turks are Muslim, so they don't eat any of that stuff either, and it's to the point where I think it was Luke. It's irrelevant. I think it was Luke. He had a birthday party, and he had all his friends over, and he said, "Dad, can you grill, a bunch of steaks and stuff for everybody?" I said, "Sure." So I got out the grill and got a bunch of, like I said, the pork industry is huge over there. Beef is not a big thing. So I went to the store and I bought a whole bunch of pork steaks and stuff. And then he comes to me and he goes, "Hey, Dad, did you get anything for?"
Oh, here comes the waitress.
I don't even remember his name. I just want to say Ahmed. We'll just
Ahmed.
It was something similar to that. It wasn't Ahmed, but it was something akin to Ahmed. And I said,
See,
"Well,
this is
I don't really have anything, but I can go down to the store and get something for him." And so I went down and got something for him. And I get ready to go put it on the grill, and he says, "Oh no, you can't put it on that grill." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "They can't even have it on the same grill that the pork has been touching." And I was like, "Well, then I guess I'm gonna have to cook it in a skillet because I'm not gonna clean my grill just so I can cook this kid's steak." No, thank you. I'm good.
Need another beer. Pork.
And the same thing happened, I guess, when they went on a school field trip. They had, it was like the end of the year thing. They went on a little field trip and they had a cookout, and they had to bring 2 grills, one that was for everybody else and one halal grill that had for the non-pork products. And
Wow.
that just blew my mind. I mean, it's one thing not to eat it, but it's another thing to be like, no, I can't even have it touch the same grill.
I got hot coffee on my leg. Shit. It's a bad decision. Yeah, it wasn't the Muslims and the Jewish part. It wasn't the one I was. The other one.
I know. But
I didn't realize. I guess I didn't. I think we discussed it. I think I've gotten pissed off at this biannually for the last decade of my life.
it always bothered me too. I still remember the situations we both went through it, and I still remember getting upset about it too, because you're putting some arbitrary. You expect everybody else to adhere to your arbitrary rules to accommodate your strange diet.
Wasn't nothing like bringing in a thing of Bojangles biscuits. You got any steak? No. No. I did, but I eat it. It's mine.
Yeah. I don't get that. I mean, that would be, to me, that would be the same thing as you coming over to my house when you were in ketosis and then being like, "Well, why ain't there any of this keto?"
Oh,
And
yeah. Still
I'm like,
ketosis.
"Well, because it's my fucking house and I'll make goddamn noodles and biscuits if I want to. And if you don't want to eat that, then don't eat it. But don't come at me like I'm supposed to make sure that I have your weird diet habits." I don't mean that that's weird, but I'm just saying.
It's very weird.
You have some weird affliction or whatever that keeps you from eating something.
Everybody
and I'm
always
supposed
asks,
to know it.
Everybody always asks me, "Can you eat this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can eat about anything. I just refrain from it for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna have a pound of it." Yeah, I've always prided myself on being able to make things keto friendly. Whenever whenever I go someplace. "Oh, I'm sorry to make it." "Yeah, you did. Hang on. Watch this. You're about to get disgusted."
And that was one of the things that I never had a problem with. And I mean, even like when we went out to dinner that one night and you brought your own chips with you, it was a non-issue. There was no
Oh yeah,
virtue signaling, basically.
No, I don't even do that every time either. Sometimes I just don't have anything.
And it's just, even my son. I mean, my son when we go out to eat, he doesn't make any kind of stink about them not having what he can or cannot eat. We went out to a steakhouse the other day, and they pretty much have nothing on the menu for him to eat. But they had like a strawberry Cobb salad, and he just said, "Yeah, just give it to me without the cheese, and I'll eat it." No big deal. He didn't make a stink about it. It was fine. But this whole thing is like, well, I can't believe you don't have this, or I can't believe you don't accommodate my, minority diet. That
Going to Chick-fil-A and asking for vegan.
Yeah, I don't. That's the stuff that bothers me. That I don't even know if virtue signaling is the correct term for it, but this
It's close. It's like a relative.
It's somewhere between that and outrage culture. There's these people that have to go in and just be mad about you not accommodating them.
This chicken's name was Logan. What was its name? It was raised on a farm and had a good life. I need to know.
I don't get any of that.
Good old vegans. My cousin's vegan. He'll be on the podcast one day. Probably when he moves back to Huntsville in about a month. When he comes back to UAH. He's got an apartment on the top of the mountain. So I'll get him to come over. Troll him about some veganism.
Him and my son in a room together and see what happens.
I'm okay with it. I don't know. What is it called on a podcast? The host isn't there, but other people do it. Not a swap cast. That's when they do 2 in 1. That's when like 2 shows record at the same time and they just post it. I don't know. It's probably just spin-off.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. That'd be an echo chamber, though. Get Derek Maynor and my cousin in a room. Now. If you can't eat dead pig, what kind of sausage do you eat? I don't understand. That's my Derek Maynard. Not even close. Before my grandpa died, he couldn't figure the vegan stuff out. What? He can't eat what?
And my dad's kind of that way. Every time that we go to visit him, he sends me a message for like 3 days straight. He's like, well, what kind of stuff do I need to have here for your kids to eat? I know they got that weird diet or whatever. And I'm like, Dad, it's just they don't eat meat. I was like, if you put out a plate of fresh vegetables, they'll devour it. They don't care.
Is he vegan or just vegetarian?
So Luke is completely vegan.
Or plant-based?
Luke is 100% vegan. And Jamie is just vegetarian. He still eats cheese and milk. And
I saw him eat an egg.
Luke will eat an egg if it's farm raised. That's free range.
Dude, that's weird. They're creating their own loopholes now. Yeah. I'm like, hey, what is that? The chicken laid itself. My cousin's like, I would eat a chicken egg if I had the chicken as a pet and it laid the egg as a result of being a chicken. What?
Yeah, that's basically Luke.
He's gonna lay an egg anyway.
So I get my eggs from old Shively. I always forget the name of his farm. I keep meaning to shout it out and I forget it. It starts with an S, I think. Spring
Shively Farms.
No, it's like Springdale or something like that.
Where does he live?
Out near Hartselle, I think.
Okay, I was thinking he might have been the one in Killingsworth Cove over here that has the big bunch of stuff every month.
Dang, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look it up because I don't have to say it because it's been like 3 times now I've mentioned it and I haven't.
What's he deliver?
I mean, he brings them to work. So I just pick it up from him at work. Let me see. Let's see if I can find it. Sweet Springs Heritage Farm. That's what it's called. It's in Ardmore. Not Hartselle.
I was going to say that's...
Yeah, but he's, got pigs and sheeps and... Sheeps. He's got pigs and sheep and... Chickens and... he's got fruits and veggies and stuff like that.
I don't understand the sheep. We have sheep. I don't know what they do.
I don't...
they that's all they... Are they good to eat? Someone's eating them.
I don't know.
I mean, if you read the Bible and the red word, somebody's eating a sheep.
Yeah, I don't know.
3 religions happened because a sheep got killed. So big 3, right there at Abraham's little thing there.
Yeah, I don't
Kill the ram.
I don't know. Hey, you would know the name. What's the me and the boys were having this conversation yesterday and I couldn't remember. What's the name of the brain when you eat the brains? What's it called?
Ooh.
Not the act of eating it, but what do they call it? Isn't it like sweet something? Or there's, because they rename stuff so you don't know what you're eating.
Yeah.
It's called like, I keep wanting to say it's like the sweet something.
That sounds familiar.
And it's just like
Let's see,
just like cow and sheep brain.
Sweetbreads.
Sweetbreads, that's right.
Yeah. Sounds.
I couldn't remember. I knew it was something like that. And
I want to see the look on somebody's face and eat some. What is that? An organ meat from the thymus, gland, and pancreas. Huh. We eating brains now?
No.
I mean, I've never eaten brains.
No.
Like, I'll eat anything, too, and I've just never had them.
And I heard a term today that I had never heard before. Have you ever heard of pig's feet being called pork trotters?
No.
Me neither. But I follow this Korean cook.
I should have heard that if anybody. So no.
It was a Korean cook on YouTube that I was following her for some of her recipes, and she had a recipe. It came out. I don't know when it came out. That's irrelevant. But it was for Korean fried pork trotters. I was like, what the hell is a pork trotter? Let me click on this. So I clicked on it, and she's going through like, yeah, you can't normally find the trotters at normal grocery store. I have to go to Chinatown and yada yada. And I was like, what the hell is a pork trotter? And then she shows it, and it's just pig's feet. And I'd never heard it called pork trotters before.
Fancy word for it. Yeah, that's definitely what they are. Pig trotter, pork trotter. Man, I've never had a pig's feet that I know of.
No, I haven't either.
I mean, I'm sure they're good. My level of that stops at pickled eggs. Like, I love pickled eggs.
I don't know if I've ever had a pickled egg.
I can go get you one. I got a whole jar of pickled quail eggs. You ever had a boiled egg? Like a straight up boiled egg? Like Easter time?
Yeah, of course.
It's the same taste. I don't know why everybody's like, oh, I ain't eating that. I'm like, you eat a boiled egg. It's the same thing. It just has flavor.
I mean, I haven't done it it wasn't like I've avoided it because I think it's nasty or anything.
I've heard people say they think it's nasty. I'm like,
but
that's not.
Every time I've ever seen a pickled egg, it's always like at a gas station.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I'm not eating that.
They don't have the best stigma. Their representative to the public is not. It's like tattoos almost. You never like the tattoos that are on display are usually from a biker that's in jail or in a mugshot or something. You have to go deep to find the tattooed person that's helping out the homeless kind of thing. That's not saying they don't exist in what great numbers, but they don't ever display them. They're not out front. But yeah, the homemade pickled eggs, there's not much better. You have to get the big gallon jug though. All they taste like is just vinegar and eggs.
I mean, I like pickles. I like eggs.
I think some people think that they're going to be squishy.
Maybe that's
I think they think they're going to be squishy and slimy when they're just a boiled egg. They're not even, the consistency doesn't even change. They don't get any more viscous, whatever the word is.
Mm-hmm.
You just bite into it and it tastes. Usually it's hot because that's what you want to do to a pickled egg because they're supposed to be with beer. They're a beer food.
Okay.
And so you get all that crazy. Like the recipe I've got is a big old Dutch oven on the stove. Just couldn't think of stove. What the fuck? And you pour gallon of vinegar, a quart of vinegar, and 3 quarts of water, and a thing of Tony Cipriotti's, a whole can of the Cajun seasoning, and then like chop up a bunch of peppers, cayennes, jalapenos, whatever. Just like gobs them. There's no rules.
Right.
No rules.
There's no rules in the Thunderdome.
It's like Terrence Mann on James Earl Jones on Field of Dreams. There's no rules here. There's no rules here. I mean, you chop it up. Basically, all you're doing with those peppers is making a jar look good for the 3 weeks you're going to have them. You're basically making the at-home store Better Homes and Garden jar of peppers that they sell.
So when people walk in, they're like, "Ooh, what's that?"
They open the door. Oh, that's very good.
Yeah, that looks nice.
There's no wrong way. I mean, basically, you could take any packet of fill in the blank from the shelf. Chili packet. You could do 3 chili packets, a whole can of crushed red peppers, and a handful of cayennes.
Full regalia.
And next time, and then boil it with a quart of vinegar and 3 quarts of water, and pour it in that thing for 3 weeks, and you got good pickled eggs. How'd you get this recipe? My whole grandpappy passing it down. 3 chili packets, the sperm of a young bull, and the 1 hair from an eye of newt, and it's like, well, this is really good.
So what is your take on boiled peanuts?
They're good, nice and soft.
So would you say that that's something that people in Alabama eat on a regular?
It's up there.
So I never heard of no damn boiled peanuts.
They're like a staple from a gas station, though.
So that's about what I had them akin to. So when I was overseas, this last stint, every time I went to the shopette across the street from my work, they'd always have these big vats of boiled peanuts.
Oh, they do have them in those shopettes. They got them here on post.
They'd have hot and normal.
Mm-hmm.
But my buddy Bo, he's from Rome, Georgia, and he's acted like these things were crack. I mean, every time he went into the shopette, he could not leave without getting a damn bucket of boiled peanuts. And
they're good.
They just don't sound good.
Was he a shell eater, or did he peel them first?
I'm not sure. I really don't recall.
He's got both. You got some folks that go all in, pop it right in their mouth.
So I used to be a shell eater for standard peanuts when I was younger.
God.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
I mean, I same with sunflower seeds. I used to chew them up until they were just like mush, and then swallow them. There was one time where I guess I didn't chew them up quite good enough, and had some issues on the back end. I
bet.
And so I quit doing that.
Talk about diverticulitis. Whole fruits.
Yeah, boiled peanuts just never seemed appealing to me. They just
never.
Even when I saw them pulling them out, I was just like, they just don't look nice.
Did I screw this up?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Crap. But I'm still streaming though. Actually, don't hit X. I was looking at shopette peanuts. It's probably still live.
I do have to pee though. Where can I go pee?
In the bathroom.
Well,
savage mother.
What would that be?
It's just right there to the left. Randy's going to the bathroom. And I just ended. I didn't end the video, but I did something. It's good that it's an hour and 41 minutes in, and it was all done as I talked to myself. As Randy urinates, you can probably hear him. Could probably hear him. Let's see here. Oh, well, all right, I got it back. Cool. Got one person watching. I'm sorry. Hey, if you're watching, who are you in the chat box? Do I know you? If I don't, it's okay. Let's sit here. Okay, I got it. Nice little learning experience there. I closed the damn browser. Apparently, you can just go over here to the live thing and it has a little button for the control room. I thought, oh shit. Anyway, bowl peanuts. You know how a regular peanut tastes? It's crunchy.
Yes.
You know how a potato from a roast tastes? Or
Yes.
feels? That's what a bowl of peanut feels like.
Okay.
It's like a potato from a roast. It's squishy.
Just trying to see if we...
I'm anxious to see. We'll end it here pretty soon, but I'm anxious to see how the we got 12 views, which is stupid. Documentary. Eyes don't eat, no poke. Damn, it's 9:30.
Dang.
Let's see. My friend Adam Caldwell, he's going to be on here. He's the one that did the Bandersnatch. It's going to be a fun one there.
Okay.
He lives in Athens. No more Skype for me if you can drive. I've got a studio, by God.
By God.
All right. Let's try this tradition of the mementos. What'd you bring?
So, like I said, off camera, I went through my old merch bag, and all I had was some old... I have a demo CD. That was our first demo CD with a couple of tracks on it before our
this is y'all. I thought
official album release.
I thought it was a Iron Maiden from over here. It looked...
And this was actually a copy of our initial CD, because when we had our CD release party, our shipment of CDs didn't arrive in time for our CD release party, so we had to hand out CDRs to everybody. But I'm going to get a hold of Jurg and see if I can get some more stickers, and
I was going to make it a...
or at least a sticker.
I told you I was going to make it a tradition. I have the... I got my thumbtacks. Gotta hang them up.
About time for you to have a yard sale on all that media.
This is classic. Let me see one. Where should we put it?
I don't know.
Can you take it out?
Yeah, you can
You
take
want
it
these back?
out. No. I got a whole sack of them here.
Yeah, you got a sack, all right.
Yeah. That's not the same thing.
There, hang yours over there.
All right.
Gonna begin the tradition of every new guest brings a sticker or memento. It doesn't have to be equal if you don't want it to be. And we're gonna hang it up here and have a... My mic was off the whole time. We're gonna have a tradition of having every guest bring a memento or sticker or something, either hanging over here or put it on the table. Kind of like Joe Rogan has all those stupid Buddhas. He's going to have to call those one day. Did you see it today? Like, how does it even do anything?
No, I haven't.
Dude, it looks like somebody's grandma's flea market booth. But yes, this is my Bernie Sanders way of decorating my wall, and just having other people bring me shit. All right, now we got a new tradition, and almost into the live stream. I guess we'll wrap it up. First into the studio. Randy's here. He's got to go home and go to sleep because we have to work tomorrow.
I got video games to play.
I can't wait to go to work tomorrow either.
Yeah, I bet.
I actually learned something today. I'm kind of kind of pumped about seeing it through all the way, which excites me. I'm learning something without pressure to stay till midnight. It's great. It's weird because I tell him, I'm like, I would like this job if every time I didn't get involved in something, I had to stay till goddamn dark. I hate that.
Yeah, it's absurd.
I'm like, let's go ahead and get this done. I'm like, can you stay? I'm like, stay. I've been here since 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had all that time. You got 40 hours and 5 days.
Yeah. For some reason, they got to get it done after 5.
Oh, because the customer's bitch.
Yeah. Of Of course.
I'm about done. I looked at VTC facilitating jobs today.
I was bitching to Sack yesterday, and he was like, "Well, you can come be my executive VTC facilitator." I was like, "Yeah, how much does that pay?" He's like, "Well, I got 2 slots over here. I can probably squeeze you in for 60." I was like, "I'll tell you what. I'll take both jobs, both salaries, and I'll do them equally."
Dude, if they could guarantee me that I wouldn't be messed with after that, I'd do it.
I would too.
I'm like 7 to 4, 5 days a week, holidays off, 2 weeks a year.
Yeah.
I miss that. Now I'm like, I feel guilty if I leave on time.
Yeah.
Like hey man, where you going? It's 5. I'm leaving. They've already played the song. Everybody stops.
That's not the song.
I'm gonna stop in the street.
Yeah. Yeah, those stop in the street fuckers can go to hell. They even tell you that you're not supposed to stop in the street.
Oh yeah, dude. I'll be walking out with the boss. I'm like, and he just stops. I'm like, I gotta get home. Sometimes
I was walking out the other day, and old McGilla was that music started playing. Everybody stops. McGilla just keeps on.
Oh, that makes me feel so much better. And why in my mind am I picturing him as doing the Vince McMahon walk? That's
basically.
I gotta get home. Sure, they're gonna press themselves.
Yeah, he's a strange
All right,
cat.
We're gonna end this before this conversation goes any farther.
Yeah.
All right, till next time, everybody subscribe. Instagram, the Bobby Dizzle Podcast. Hang on, Instagram. I'm gonna lie. What is my Instagram? Oh, it's Bobby Dizzle Podcast on Instagram, and on Twitter it's Bobby Dizzle Cast. And I have a website which is you can get to and see all the stuff, but it's kind of dated because my iWeb broke. I'll be fixing it soon. It's BobbyDizzle.com. Anyway, peace out. It's the mythical Randy Glenn. Bobby Dizzle Podcast.